there, and welcome to iStayBooked.com's Marketing Your Vacation Rental training presentation. You have many options when marketing your vacation property, but in this lesson we'll be talking about how to leverage your listing on vacation listing sites. You'll leave today knowing how to make your listing stand out, how to use basic search strategies, and how to create listings that turn leads into conversions. If you've ever taken a marketing course, you may be familiar with the 5 P's of marketing: product, place, price, and promotion. However, when we talk about marketing in today's digital world, it is crucial to include a 5th P, and that's presence. Your presence is how your future guests find you, the impressions you give them, how you invoke emotion in them, and what triggers them to make a buying decision. As you seek to maximize your presence, the very first thing you must do is understand the competition, especially on listing sites. First, let's talk about the enormous benefits of using a directory listing site. First, you benefit from their budget. Perhaps you saw the Super Bowl ad this year from one of the leading sites. With large advertising budgets, your listing can piggyback off their advertising efforts. Second, you benefit from targeted audiences. Rather than having to hunt potential guests, they find you. When future guests go to one of these sites, you can be assured they are looking for a vacation property to rent in your area. Third, you benefit from their reach. Along with a hefty advertising budget, these sites benefit from increased traffic and dedicated search terms. In other words, Google many locations and the first thing you'll see is one of these sites. Now, to the disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage to a large directory site is simply the size. Your listing is competing in some cases with over 130,000 listings. Narrowed down to your location, you are still competing. That means every time someone stumbles across your listing, you must have the presence in place to grab their attention and keep it. You may have a beautiful property at a reasonable price, but if you don't grab your future guests, that lead disappears. In order to get a leg up on your competition, you must know them. There are 3 things you must do. First, identify the competition. Put yourselves in the shoes of your guests. We'll talk about this more in a moment, but for now, simply put yourself in their shoes as you plan the perfect getaway. What are you searching for? Your competition may be what shows up in search results, it may be local resorts, or it may be other listings within your directory site. Be sure at a minimum to search for the location, such as Playa Hermosa, Costa Rica, features, such as beachfront, and costs, such as less than $250 a night. Second, understand their strategies. Once you determine who your competition is, understand their strategies. Are they promoting price? Are they linked to a personalized website? Are they optimized in a way that you are not? By looking at your competitors through a guest point of view, ask yourself what makes this listing appealing. Finally, replicate what works. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and indeed it is. If something is working for your competitors, there's no reason it shouldn't work for you. Now, by no means am I saying to copy, just illustrating that if something works for someone else, there's no reason it shouldn't work for you. Next, be perceptive. We've already talked a little about walking in your guest's shoes, but let's walk a little further. Imagine that you are a potential guest. What gets your attention and what keeps it? When we're talking about listing sites, you only have a few precious moments to keep someone interested. The most important piece is creating a listing that leaves your future guests wanting more. First, we must write a headline that works. Step 1, use a space that's available to you. Most listing sites provide a set number of characters for headlines ranging from 40 to 70 characters. This is prime real estate. Make use of it. Step 2, use keywords attractive to searchers. Let's say your property is steps from a popular landmark or popular area of town. By doing your research, you know what is attractive to users. Highlight it. For example, oceanfront villa 2 miles from Manuel Antonio National Park. The benefit here is that a guest who is looking for oceanfront property will find you, and people looking to explore the national park will also find you. Step 3, highlight amenities. If you are just steps from the beach and have concierge services and 3 plasma screen TVs, that's attractive to your users. Where appropriate, highlight these in your headline. For example, oceanfront villa, free Wi-Fi, private chef, on-site concierge. Step 4, provide specific descriptions. Now, I have no doubt that your property is fabulous, beautiful, and amazing, but in the headline, use words that are descriptive of your property. So let's say you have a property that is perfect for families. An example would be North Shore kid-friendly condo, kids activities, surfing lessons, on-site babysitting. Now, one important thing to remember is that in most cases, your headline is not only a prime piece of real estate, but also an effective tool for search engines. We'll talk about this more in a moment, but I want you to commit to changing your headline frequently as an easy way to trigger a search engine that you have something new to share. Next, create content that counts. Your content should be focused on your guests. Is your property family-friendly, perfect for weddings, ideal for surfers, or must-have for snowboarders? When you are walking in your customer's shoes and thinking about what matters for them, you must be creating a complete picture. In web marketing, we often talk about how content is king. It is no different in this case. And remember, you only have a second to grab their attention. As you think about your content, remember that your goal is to have your reader envision themselves in your property. Personalize your content, such as, you'll love the ocean views, or as you wake up to the soft ocean breezes, or your children's laugh will be heard throughout the home. Make it personal, and they'll make it theirs. Now, remember, sell your property, then sell the location. In most cases, your guests will have already narrowed down a location and are narrowing down the property. Focus on 2 to 3 short paragraphs of amenities, what makes your property unique and special. Focus on descriptions and personalize. Be sure to include 2 to 3 paragraphs of local or nearby activities and attractions. When you become the information source for your guests, you become their partner. By including details such as the backyard bar just a short walk down the beach is known for their delicious drinks and outstanding appetizers as you watch the sunset from the open patio, you tell your guests that you are invested in their experience, are committed to their amazing time, and create a vibrant experience before they even step on the plane. You also want to make sure you have set clear expectations about your rental policies and conditions. Now, let's pause for a moment because you may be thinking, gosh, this is a lot of work. Now, here's why you should be committed to creating content that counts. When you are competing against thousands of listings, who are your future guests going to choose? The ones that look like all the rest, or the ones that allow them to envision and experience their vacation from the very first click? Beyond creating content that inspires their imagination, you must be visual. Your listing site will allow you to include photos, and you should, as many as they will allow. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and in your case, perhaps $1,000. Consider this. Not only do photographs paint the picture of what your guests will experience, but thanks to social sharing sites such as Flickr, Facebook, and TwitPic, your photographs just became an incredible tool to optimize your listings. Now, this topic is so important, we've dedicated an entire lesson to exploring how to leverage your photographs. But remember this. Think like your guests. Paint the complete picture for them. What do they see from the outside, walking in, from the porch, the view, the bedrooms, the kitchen, even the amenities? Next, stage your photographs. A first rule of thumb in real estate is that staging is everything. Highlight the details, make them feel at home, inviting, and captivating. Next, difference matters. Whether you are a property owner in a condo community or a unique standalone property, highlight what makes your property unique. Take photos at different times of the days from different perspectives, highlighting the different features. Now that you have some of the basics, how do you maximize your photographs? First, create captivating captions. It takes only moments, but again, creates a clear picture. Second, tag photos appropriately. The beauty of tagging is that search engines don't read images. Adding alternative text and tags ensures that your property photos will be properly indexed and found. Third, if your listing site allows for links to outside sites, consider using a site like Flickr or perhaps your Facebook page to add more photographs. Just like you gain from the immense marketing budget and search opportunities for your listing site, you achieve the same benefit from utilizing these networks as well. Now, finally, it is very important to keep adapting. All too often, property owners have the field of dreams, if we build it, they will come perspective. Unfortunately, that's not true. It takes considerable effort on your part to keep the momentum going. Remember, the most important thing is to keep updating, but with the right updates. Now, as you adapt, I want you to commit to these 5 things. First, update your headline. Be sure to include availability, special promotions, or new amenities. Second, update your description. Play around with different keywords, but be sure to keep track of your efforts so you know what works. Third, update your calendar. Actively keeping your booking calendar up to date is crucial, not only for the usability of the end user, but to let the site manager know what's going on with your property. Fourth, update promotions. Do you offer special promotions certain times of the year, special opportunities off-season? Be sure to highlight these. Finally, update your photographs. Maybe your property is a surfer's paradise in the summer, but close enough to the mountains to be ideal for skiers. Update photos to show different sides of your property. Now, one important thing. You must do this for each site that you're listed. Different sites will weigh each of these factors a little differently. Setting aside an hour each week to make these tweaks to each of your listings will go a long way in keeping you booked year-round. Thanks for joining us today as we begin to scratch the surface on how to maximize your vacation property listing. I hope you'll join us for upcoming trainings where we'll discuss comprehensive search engine optimization, how to utilize social media, and benefits of a personalized website, and much more. Until then, good luck, and remember, stand out to stay booked.